Hey everybody, so we just posted a full in-depth interview with Jim Nova. He's the guy who does all of the Star Wars trombone overdubs, and we did Imperial March on this channel together a few weeks ago. So if you want to check that out, it's on the International Trombone Festival's YouTube channel and my podcast, See Bleezy Knows. There's links in the description if you want to check it out. It's super interesting. He has a ton of cool stories, meeting John Williams, getting a handwritten letter from him, all sorts of really cool stuff. So definitely check that out if you're interested. But I wanted to share with you a super nerdy section of the interview that I cut out, which is his gear overview. So he has all sorts of crazy trombones that he uses for his overdubs, and if you are a gearhead, you will certainly love this. So enjoy this, and then go check out the interview if you're interested.
All right, and now a gear overview, an official gear overview. So I'll pick up the camera, and we can actually go through one by one.
Okay, so right here is my first ever trombone. This is the one I got when I was 9 years old. It's a Yamaha student model instrument.
Is that your first mouthpiece as well? Or?
Yep.
And what is
It's
that?
the mouthpiece that came with it. I don't know, a Yamaha 47. It's in dire need of polishing. So that's what I played on. And then I switched to like a 12C at some point when I remember having a 12C. I don't know where it is now. This is a Yamaha that I was tinkering with, that they let me use for a while, and they've never asked for it back. They actually said you can keep it, but just don't sell it.
Okay, there you go.
So it's a really nice horn. It plays very similarly to Pete Sullivan's horn. It's a little bit different. I think this is the one that Larry Zalk and my previous colleague in the Utah Symphony helped them develop. And it's the one Dave Finlayson plays.
Oh, great.
That model. This is my first real professional instrument. This is my Bach 42 that I got when I was 15 years old. And that's my mouthpiece. And I thought, at the time, it's a Bach 5G, and I thought it would be so cool to have my name stamped on it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Had my name stamped on it. And when I was playing this in college, I started to have some issues because I started practicing so much that I started having some irritation issues. So that's when Glenn Dodson, my freshman year, he says, you might have some kind of mild silver allergy. So that's when I started gold plating mouthpieces, and that's the original one. Now this is one of my more recent acquisitions. This is my F Contrabass Trombone.
I have to back up.
Yeah. I hold this thing up, and it looks like Honey, I Shrunk the Nova, I look like a midget who's holding a regular trombone, And that's a Constol 1690.
In the mouthpiece?
This is a Greg Black custom. It's his Contra Blank, and then that's it's basically his Contra mouthpiece, but with a 3G rim. His 3G rim. So I think a Greg Black 3G rim is a little bit bigger than a Bach 3G rim. This is my Shires double valve bass, and I play this a fair amount in the orchestra. To kind of rotate Jeff D, our principal bass trombone player, give him some rotation. Now this is the
mouthpiece on that one.
Oh, this mouthpiece is again a 3G rim, but it's a 1.5G cup and back bore, and it's been bored out a little bit. But all my mouthpieces have some kind of identifying stamp on them. And then this is my warhorse. This is what I play 90% of the time. It's my regular large bore tenor. All the specs for my Shires stuff are on their artist page on their website. So these four trombones are all Shires trombones, and all the specs are on their website. Mm-hmm. And that's my current mouthpiece. It's basically a kind of a 3G 5G. It's not what I came here playing. I used to play something a little bigger and more U-shaped cup, but the Pittsburgh Symphony brass section is extremely powerful, and they have a very brilliant sound. And when I came to the orchestra, I used to play this bell, which is a gold brass unsoldered bead bell. And it's a much darker sound, much more kind of euphonium-y type quality to the sound. And I just couldn't, I was having a lot of trouble playing this and keeping up, and I don't consider myself a quiet player,
Yeah. So brightened it up.
So yeah, I switched to a yellow brass bell and then to a slightly different mouthpiece and some different specs and such. So, and then this is my 525 bore horn. I'll use this if I'm playing in like jazz settings or like this is the horn I use to play Green Hornet.
Okay.
Because it's just a lot easier to get that kind of excitement out of the sound. And then this mouthpiece is basically it's sort of like a 3GS, but with some modifications. So it's again the three rim. That's a recurring theme. Every mouthpiece is the three rim. So and this is a lightweight yellow bell. Then this is my Alto Trombone, which is a pretty standard model of theirs, dual bore slide.
Shires, right?
Shires. And then this is my Alto mouthpiece, which is essentially a 3C, like a Greg Black 3C, but it's also, again, had some modifications done to it. And then this is probably the most unusual horn.
Yeah, I would say.
Is the Soprano Trombone, which is it's a miraphone. And, it's designed to be played by a trumpet player, so I had to have a whole inch cut off of it in order to get it up to pitch. And then Greg Black made me, this is actually the second mouthpiece I have for that horn. And,
That looks so funny.
it's like, it looks like a teacup or something, And if you compare that to this, it's a funny visual,
Let me focus that up. There you go.
And then, look inside, and it's pretty funny. And this is a visual, it's an illusion because you're like, you look at that and you think, okay, this rim's bigger than that, but they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. Because that's how I double, is everything has to be the same. So this Soprano is, I can play the stuff, my high range is what it is regardless of what I play on.
Same.
But it's just the timbre of this, it actually has a partial when you're up in that range. Like a double B flat has an actual slot on that, whereas on this, it doesn't really, or let alone, So, yeah, it's pretty,
There you go.
that's the gear. That's the gear.
Super awesome. Thanks to Jim for doing this. And again, if you want to check out the full interview, just click the links in the description.